It's tall, it's got girthy legs, and it's got a bigger tank, so it can go all night. No, I'm not talking about Tim Rodey, I'm actually talking about this, which is Yamaha's 2026 Tenere 700 World Raid. So yeah, this is the brand new World Raid from Yamaha. They very kindly let me out on their demo bike or their loan bike, and yeah, it had 0 miles when I picked it up, and so we do need to be a little bit gentle. But how good does it look in black and gold? Black bike with gold wheels will always look good to me. Very JPS. If you know, you know. So before we get riding, we're just going to have a quick rundown. We've got an updated CP2 engine. Yeah, this is the MT-07 R7 Tracer 7, 689cc, 72 horses, 68 newton meters of torque. We've got a very girthy tank. It being the World Raid, it's got two fuel tanks, 23 litres, good for around about 250, maybe more miles. We've got 46mm, big old girthy. That feels very familiar. KYB suspension, long travel suspension. We've got Brembo brakes. We've got a nice rally seat, that's all new. They have done some other changes, like they've rotated the clutch actuator 0.35mm forward, just so you don't hit your leg on it. We've got some bear trap style foot pegs. You can take the rubbers out. You do need a Allen key though. Bendy bits here and there. They've also moved the side stand switch 15mm higher, and they've put a little cover on it because that was something that they found was a bit of an issue. But yeah, let's throw our leg over it and see if we can actually touch the floor. 890mm seat height, or 35 inches. Now I'm only 5'8" with a 30-inch inseam, so this is going to be tricky, and it has been tricky. So if I throw my leg over it, oh god. I mean, look, that's ridiculous, isn't it? But yeah, let's this road, this paved bit is a little bit on a camber. I'm very much on tippy toes. We're on tippy toes. Oh, we've got a steering damper with updated settings as well, and you can adjust it hard, soft, whatever you feel like. The 46mm shocks up front, they have new triple clamps, giving a bit more rigidity. Actually, let's just turn the bike on and have a look at the dash. So we've got the updated electronics package. So it's got a 6-axis IMU, which means lean sensitive ABS, traction control, slide control and brake control, which all sounds very fancy, doesn't it? You've got riding modes because we've got the new YCCT Yamaha chip control throttle. So essentially ride-by-wire throttle. So we've got the power mode, sport or explore, traction control settings, street or off-road, slide control, again street or off-road, brake control, off or on, ABS. So with ABS, you can actually turn front and rear ABS off. And the great thing about this new system is I can turn the bike off. So we've got ABS off, we've got traction control off, we've got stability control off. Turn it off, turn it on again. Now everything will reset. But all you need to do is hold down this button. So let me just start the bike. Hold down this button for 3 seconds. And it remembers all the settings I just set up. So you don't have to go into the menu and faff around again. That is brilliant, such a time saver. If I press this button once again, it will turn it all back to normal. Do subscribe, because around about 79% of you are not subscribed. And if you want to see me take this bike on a much longer journey and do a bit of a tour video, subscribe so you don't miss it. You know, if you want to see people do magic off-road stuff, you can see Chris Northover do all the magic. He's a way better rider than me, and I did promise Yamaha I wouldn't do any green aiming stuff, so this is as gnarly as we're going to get. But ultimately, you know, off-road, the bike is going to be way more capable than me. So, you know, go and watch Chris Northover if you want to do, if you want to see lots of amazing off-road riding. You're not going to see that here, unfortunately. I just don't have the skill, bravery, confidence, all of the above. But what I can tell you is just doing this sort of bumpy, lumpy dirt track. It's actually quite firm. Now, it is fully adjustable, so you can change it, but it offers a lot of support. This being the World Raid, so it is a bit heavier than the standard Tenere. They have revised the damping settings because, you know, it's got bigger forks, it's got a bit more weight, bigger fuel tanks, so there's more weight over the front. So it has needed to have some damping settings changed. Right, let's just open up that because there's a fly in my eye. Yeah, so this is going to be a road review basically. I will try and get another video out where I do an all-day ride doing a bit of distance, because I think what this bike offers is essentially an adventure touring motorcycle that can do big distances and big tours. Hello, horsey. Aren't you beautiful? You know, yes, it is still designed to go off-roading and it can do all of that really gnarly stuff. But I think most customers, realistically, aren't going to be doing that. I think they're going to be looking at this bike because it's got the bigger fuel tank and it can do bigger miles. You know, 250 miles, 300 miles, depending on how you ride, of course, is possible on this machine. The only thing I think Yamaha have missed a trick with is not offering tubeless wheels, because I think if you're just doing road stuff, you'd probably want tubeless just because they're way easier to repair at the side of the road. But anyway, we'll get to that. Watch out, pigeons. Yeah, so, you know, the engine is the CP2 engine, which is in all their other 700 bikes. It's got, you know, 72 horses, it's got 68 Nm of torque. It is still really fun. In this bike, which is quite heavy, this bike weighs 220 kilos or whatever that is in pounds. Is it 500 pounds? It might be 500 pounds. It's certainly high 400s or 500, 485 maybe. Quick maths. It's a tricky one because it feels still pretty good to me. And if you are doing off-road, do you really want more power? Probably not. But again, I'm coming at this. So I am coming at this video as a road review. So I think, you know, an extra 10 to 15 horsepower certainly wouldn't go amiss, I think. A sprinkling of more torque. Nationals! Yeah, I think in the future, in the not too distant future, we are going to see an updated CP2 engine with a bit more power. And this is the first bike really that's had this engine in where I felt like, yeah, okay, it is starting to reach the limits of what the engine can do. And I think that's literally because it's in the heavier bike. It just feels way less urgent than, you know, obviously in lighter bikes like the MT-07 or the Tracer 7, where it still feels quite sprightly and quite fun. In this bike it does feel a little bit, I don't want to say underpowered because I think that's unfair, but it just takes a bit longer to get up to speed. Having said that, they have changed some of the throttle maps. They've reduced the intake ducting just to allow it to breathe a bit better and give you a bit more low-end oomph. It sounds fantastic. We'll stop and do another walk around a bit later. But the sound of this bike versus like the Tracer 7, they sound totally different. So the Tracer and the MT-07 have an underslung exhaust, actually, and the R7. But this has got like the full big pipe, and it sounds really beefy on the Tenere, which I really like. I think that is missing from the MT-07 and the R7. They do sound a little bit wheezy. But yeah, engine, you know, it is still a great engine. I'm not going to dunk on it too hard. And, you know, it will do everything you want, probably all day, every day. And it's really reliable. Suspension, now this being the World Raid, they have got longer legs. Much girthier 46mm forks, KYB forks, of course, fully adjustable. So, you know, if you don't like how it feels, you can adjust kind of every facet of how the fork feels. The rear, it's got a KYB fully adjustable monoshock as well. It's got remote preload adjuster as well, which I quite like, the little twiddly knob. It's got a new link type. It's got a new banana link at the back. So even though the overall travel is the same, I think it's 220mm, it's got more travel through the stroke. So essentially it means it can travel further through the stroke but still give overall the same amount of travel. So you get better damping and better support essentially if you're hitting the big whoops. This is a nice little area, isn't it? Should have stopped there. So let's talk about that fuel tank. You've got the double shooters there. You've got the double holes. I've seen that video. Now I've not filled it up yet because, you know, this is like my first few rides. I've done 127 miles. But essentially you'd fill both tanks up, and then when you get going, it's got like a cross-feed valve thing that basically equalises the fuel level, so that, you know, if you fill that one up and you don't fill that one up, it's not all off kilter. It does equal them out, balance them. So you don't have to fill both up. You can just fill one up if you don't want to do big miles. But yeah, with the fuel prices today, that's going to be a little bit eye-watering. So it's a 23 litre tank, whereas the standard Tenere is a 16 litre tank. So we've got an extra quick math 7 litres. So, you know, that's not to be sniffed at. That's an extra 70-80 miles more if you're riding very frugally. This year the tank is aluminium. Hello, sir. Yeah, so it's an aluminium tank, so that's reduced weight by about 1.5 kilos. It's also lower, which means when you're standing up, it doesn't get in the way as much, which is nice. However, you do, I can definitely feel the width of the tank between my legs, so that is something to be aware of. I don't know if that's the same as the standard Tenere. I imagine this one's wider, right, because it has got a much bigger tank overall. The wet weight of this is 220 kilos. That's it's 208 for the standard Tenere, so it's an extra 12 kilos of weight that you're going to have to lug around. It's obviously not a light bike, and, you know, you might struggle to move it around. It does feel a little bit top heavy as well, but yeah, handling it's remarkably compliant. I can definitely tell you can have a bit of fun on this. Obviously, it's got a 21-inch front wheel, so if you really lean it into corners, it does feel a little bit iffy. But that's nothing new if you're used to 21 inches. Hey. Unfortunately, once again, they are tubed wheels, front and rear. Still no tubeless option, which I think is, like I said, I think that's a bit of a missed opportunity. I did ask why, and there's, you know, plenty of reasons why. You know, for off-road tubed tyres are better. They can take more of a smash, or you can just repair. You can just replace the inner tube. You don't have to replace the tyre. But I think for the majority of the riders of this bike, tubeless would be just as good. And with the added benefit is, if you're on the road, it's way easier to change or repair a tubeless tyre. You know, I have changed a tubed tyre at the side of the road once, and it was an absolute ball ache of a job. And I've also repaired tubeless, and that's 5 minutes, 10 minutes if you're waiting for the vulcanising agent to vulcanising rubber stuff to dry, and then off you go. So yeah, I think Yamaha should do tubeless, or at least offer it as an option. You know, pay an extra couple hundred quid. Tyres, we've got Pirelli Scorpion something 3s, Rally Scorpion 3s. Anyway, yeah, they're pretty good. Obviously, thick mud, you're going to want something really knobbly, but dry, dusty stuff and packed gravel, these will be absolutely fine. And actually, they're quite nice on the road. No real complaints. I just want to touch on handling again, road handling. I think because of the weight of the bike, it feels remarkably planted. It's still actually quite, because you've got these massively wide bars, you can really like counter steer it into bends and just take the Michael a little bit. Right, I'm going to change the power mode to explore. I don't know which one's got more power. I can't really tell. I think it's sport. So suspension fully adjustable front and rear, so you really can just tailor it to what you want. I did have to reduce a little bit of the preload at the rear just because it was bouncing around quite a bit. I dare say if you're doing big off-road hits, you might want to increase that and look at your rebound and compression as well. But for what I'm doing, road stuff, the stock settings were pretty good actually. Let's talk about seating and comfort. The new Rally seat, the one-piece seat, is surprisingly comfortable. I didn't think it would be. And granted, I've only really done like an hour and a half, 2 hours maximum, but I've not really felt the need to kind of complain about it. It's actually been quite comfy. I don't know if there's a comfort seat yeah, as it is, it's absolutely fine. I can definitely imagine me doing longer big days on this. Obviously, because it's so tall, the angle is very easy to live with, no issues there at all. As I said, nice wide bars, good leverage, leverage, good for counter steering into bends or avoiding squished pheasants. And you've got a nice amount of wind protection from the wider tank. It's also got these new wind deflectors which do help keep the wind off of your face and your body. And even though the screen looks short, it's done a pretty good job of being very, very useful. No buffeting really, even with this peaked lid. It's got the new updated switch gear, so you've got those funky indicators, you've got cruise control, you've got a speed limiter, which actually is quite useful. So for example, if I go and I set my speed limit at 32, if I crack open the throttle, nothing else happens. And I can even change gear and it still remembers that setting, which I think is really useful, because there's a lot of 30s and 20s these days. I don't know if it goes down to 20 actually, I don't think it does. I think 30 is its lowest setting, which kind of shows how ridiculous the 20 speed limit is, doesn't it really? But yeah, first impressions are very, very positive. I was a little bit sceptical because, you know, it is a big tool bike. I've never ridden the previous World Raid. It is just a massive, massive bike. But I'm only 5'8" with a 30-inch inseam, and I can just about do it. So if you are shorter than me, I'd say it might not be for you, but there is the standard Tenere and also the standard Tenere in lowered form. But if you're 5'8" or above, you will be absolutely fine on this bike. Brakes, I haven't mentioned the brakes, have I? Brakes are lovely. So we've got twin Brembo calipers up front. They're not radial or anything, they're axial twin piston calipers, but they've got braided hoses this year and a Brembo master cylinder as well, although it's not a fancy pants master cylinder, it is just a fairly basic one. Got a single caliper at the rear as well, again Brembo, so you know, no expense spared, he says. I mean, they could have put Odins on it, couldn't they? You know, town stuff, it's all very good, it's all very nice. It's a really nice bike to ride, I'll be honest with you. I was put off by it initially just because of the sheer flipping size of the thing. It's so tall, but actually it is very easy to live with once you get over that height issue. And you do have to be careful where you stop and put your feet, because if you do stop on an incline or a bit of camber that's dodgy, you know, you do need to be careful, because you might put your foot down and realise there's nothing there to support you. Yeah, I just think there's a little bit less urgency from that bike, well, from that engine, because it's got to shift a bit more weight. But you know, I suppose at the same time it's not exactly a sporty machine, is it? It's a adventure touring off-road machine. But I do think it could benefit from just a little bit more power. Just a little bit. You know, Yamaha did make a lot of changes from the previous generation to this. It's got new LED lights, it's got updated kind of looks, updated fairing, updated seat. They've, you know, I've mentioned stuff like new forks, new damping, new switchgear, new electronics, 6-axis IMU. You've got a power outage bit there, you've got USB-C, so that's handy if you need to charge stuff. You've got steering damper, new aluminium tank, which is lighter and lower down. Deflectors, they've rotated that clutch actuator so it's not getting in the way of your leg. It's just great when manufacturers actually listen to owners and then make changes based on what they've suggested, or based on the problems that, you know, first world problems that owners have, and it's great that they actually make changes based on the feedback, so they listen. It's fantastic. And like many bikes, you know, it does weigh 220 kilos, but once you get it going, you can really just have a bit of fun with it. Mirrors are good. Oh, so they've made some changes to the gearbox as well. So from gears first to third, it's got an extra dog gear, so you've got 6 dog gears instead of 5. And then from 4th to 6th, they've changed the dog gear angle, and essentially all that means is you get smoother gear changes and smoother gear operation. Clutch lever's fairly light. You can get a quick shifter as well if you want. If you want to have one of those on this bike. I'm happy not having a quick shifter on this motorcycle. It being an adventure bike, I don't feel particularly like it needs one, but you know, black and gold is the best colour. There is a blue one, of course. But right, I think I will end it here. Thank you very much for watching this video. Do subscribe, because around about 79% of you are not subscribed. And if you want to see me take this bike on a much longer journey and do a bit of a tour video, subscribe so you don't miss it. Thank you for watching. If you go out today, do ride safe, but remember to have fun, of course. Otherwise, what's the point? Until next time, you take care. Peace. Oh, and happy Easter as well. It's Easter Sunday today. So I hope you all get some lovely, delicious Easter eggs. Bye.